Hi, welcome to our Facebook Live today where we're talking to Katie from First Class Holidays about Canada. Huge, vast country covering the east and the west, big expanse of country, and we're looking to speak to an expert today to get some advice.
Hi.
Katie, thanks so much for joining us.
No worries.
So tell us about First Class Holidays before you tell us about Canada.
Okay, well, First Class Holidays, so we're a tour operator based up in Manchester, and we work with you guys at Travel Designers as one of your preferred partners. And the way we work is we are a tailor-made tour operator. So we have experts in our reservations team that can work with you guys at Travel Designers and help you put together your customer's holiday. So it might be a range of different things that they're doing. It might be a self-drive, a touring option, cruises, ferries, do different trips and things, but we can use our expertise to help you kind of simplify it for you and help you put it together for the customers. So,
and you cover the world.
Yeah, well, in terms of destinations then, so we're covering Canada today. We also cover America as well. So there's lots of really great self-drive options and touring options in the Western USA, for example, going out to all the national parks and things, or Route 66, or some of the deep south self-drives and ranching, those sorts of things. We also cover Australia and New Zealand. So very vast countries again. Yep. And they need a little bit of help sometimes of kind of putting things together and just simplifying a little bit. And as I said, all of our teams have travelled extensively and they all know their stuff. So they can help you with different flight options and stopover options. And then lastly, South Africa. So again, another very, very fast country, a lot on offer with the kind of winelands and the self-drives down the garden route and all the safariing options and things as well. So
wonderful holidays. And as you say, one of our preferred tour operators. Yes. So today we're here to talk about Canada. So as a first-time visitor, obviously you know the destination really well, and it is so vast. Where would you say a first-time visitor should concentrate?
Well, there's lots of different options of different itineraries in Canada. The first timers tend to head to Western Canada, and that's what we would recommend, heading into the Rocky Mountains, exploring kind of the wildlife and the scenery and the lakes and mountains in the Rocky Mountains, and then heading down to kind of the coast towards Vancouver, which is an incredible city, over to Vancouver Island, which is huge and vast and open landscape, and possibly even an Alaska cruise, something like that, to add on to the end. Yep. But tends to be the western part of Canada that's the most popular.
Yeah, that's what we find also. And obviously such a big country, good for self-drive.
Definitely, yeah. So there's a few different self-drive options we can help kind of put together for them. But whether it be us flying you somewhere, picking up a car, arranging different accommodations and things along the way, and you driving it yourself, or there's a lot of motorhome options with self-drives as well.
Ideal for families.
Yeah, definitely. There's some bigger ones and really spacious and perfect for families. And the nice thing about a self-drive is you can do it at your own pace, and you can stop when you want to stop and get out and take pictures, or just kind of do it a little bit more at your own pace rather than having a set itinerary to do. So
sounds spectacular. And anyone that's not comfortable with a self-drive, you can obviously arrange internal flights.
Yeah, so we can do a range of different touring options. So we work with a lot of escorted touring partners. So we can arrange to include one of their kind of already pre-planned tours and some really great itineraries that they have around Canada. So it's kind of already organised. You've got a tour guide taking you around. So it's a little bit more kind of organised and set, and you don't have to worry about the driving side of things. Or we can organise kind of a private version of those tours. So you have somebody to transfer you from A to B, and then we'll do kind of excursions and things to take you out and explore.
Day trips.
Yeah, so you don't always have to drive. It's a popular way to do it, but you can certainly see Canada without a doubt by booking one of the tours as well. So
yeah, great. And another popular option is combining Alaska.
Yes.
So tell our clients how that would work.
Yes. So the Alaska cruises, a lot of them tend to go from Vancouver. So it's a really good way. If I show you very briefly on the map. So the Rockies are in this part of Canada here, and Vancouver's down here. and the cruise port's in Vancouver itself, and then you'll pick up the cruise and head round to Alaska.
How long typically would that take?
The cruises are usually around a week long, so they go through the Inside Passage and come back round into Vancouver. There's a few more that may be a little bit longer. We work with a number of different cruise suppliers and ships that can have different itineraries and things. Some of them also go from Alaska, so we can fly you up there and do that sort of thing. It's a little bit more in depth, goes to a little bit more different places. But yeah, it's a really popular way of combining kind of the Rockies, heading down into Vancouver, and then jumping on a boat and heading up and exploring Alaska on a cruise experience.
Amazing. And we get lots of requests as a travel agent as to where people can go to see polar bears.
Yeah.
So in Canada, where would be the obvious?
Yeah. Well,
place to send
the
up?
polar bear experiences are a real kind of once in a lifetime trip to book for people. The main place to see the polar bears, if I show you back to the Canada map again, is here in Churchill. So it's right in the middle, kind of very isolated town. You get there by flying up from Winnipeg, which is in the south. But it's an amazing town, and they really kind of embrace the fact that the polar bears are there. You can get on these kind of huge mechanical kind of machines called the tundra buggies with these huge wheels and get out into the kind of wilderness and go and find the polar bears. There's different trips that we can book, but even just being within Churchill itself in the town, the way they embrace, every now and then a polar bear will just stroll through the town, and they have kind of a siren that goes off, and they have what they call a polar bear jail, where they kind of take the polar bears and get them in and wean them off of any kind of smells and things that they've got, and they kind of airlift them out of the town
back
and
into the wilderness
again. So
yeah,
that alone is a sight to see. A polar bear being kind of airlifted up by helicopter. But yeah, it's a great city.
So that town is called
Churchill.
Yeah.
It's a great town, and it's certainly a once in a lifetime kind of extension, and we can help you. We've got loads of different options that you can add on to your package to go and include those as well.
Fantastic. Whenever I've been to Canada, I've only been to the west, and I feel like the east also has a lot to offer. So, for example, Niagara Falls is a must.
Yeah. So Niagara Falls is really easy to get to from Toronto. So a lot of people, when they're booking city breaks, they'll book maybe 3 or 4 nights, and one of the main days will be a trip up to see Niagara Falls, the Canada side, really explore it and come back again. You can also access Niagara from the US as well, so a lot of people will travel in that way. And it is doable in a day. There are lots of trips that go from Toronto and some of the surrounding places, but if you want to stay in Niagara itself, the actual town is fairly built up, which you wouldn't really expect somewhere like Niagara Falls. So there'd be a kind of commercialised big town next to it.
Yeah.
And rather than staying there, there's a really nice place called Niagara on the Lake, about 20 minutes or so from the falls itself, and it's a lot more laid back. They've got vineyards, lots of wineries, and you can do some wine tasting, and you're not just going there to see the falls and coming home. You're actually enjoying the kind of more natural kind of serene towns, and you can stay there for the night and enjoying the wineries without having to drive. So
much to do on the west and the east. You wouldn't combine the two. So we've had clients saying they want to travel the big vastness of the country, and we would recommend spending a lot longer in the country, but focusing on one side.
Yeah, I mean, there's
a
number of different itineraries that you can book in Canada. You can go back 3, 4, 5 times and still not really go back to the same place. Eastern and Western Canada are very different. They are, with the eastern side of it, it's kind of a lot rockier, kind of the kind of coast is a lot more rockier and jagged, and you can do some really good whale watching. There's some beautiful kind of open scenery and land, and you can go do some beautiful self drives and trips out into the wilderness. Loads of lakes and things to get out onto as well, whale watching, that sort of thing. And then they both need their own justice. So if you are going to combine both the Eastern and Western Canada, you need a month plus. To at least. What we don't want to do is kind of send you somewhere and completely rush through it. We're not going to kind of book one night here and come rush you through it, because you're going to miss so much and you're not going to experience it the way we want you to. So if you maybe only have 2 or 3 weeks, do one at a time. Definitely, because you're not going to be able to cram it all in.
And what would be nice is to combine the East Coast of America with Canada at the same time. As you're that far.
Yeah, definitely. So America and Canada are a good combination, and we sell both, and we can help you kind of, a lot of people might head kind of into the Boston, New England type area and do a bit of a self-drive, or maybe a cruise up to Canada, or head through that way. So we can do a bit of a kind of multi-centre in an itinerary, exploring both, or even kind of Western Canada. You've got Seattle and things just over the border, so that a lot of people might do a self-drive or a train or something to get them and combine the two. So.
Yeah, lots of options.
Tons.
And we've had an email earlier from a local client actually, wanting to know a little bit more about the Rocky Mountaineer.
Yes.
As part of his itinerary.
Yeah. All right. Well, the Rocky Mountaineer is an iconic train journey which heads through the Rocky Mountains, and what it does is it follows the Bow River from kind of Banff or Jasper, or wherever it is you're picking up from, and you're following the river all the way down till you get to Vancouver. So you're starting off right up in the mountains. The scenery from the mountains is incredible, and then the land completely changes. The experience on board is incredible, and so it's a 2-day trip.
Sleeper, is it?
No, it's not a sleeper train. No. So halfway you stay in a place called Kamloops, and you simply get off the train and overnight in a hotel and get back on the train the next day. But the experience on board is all about the wine, the food, and the kind of real experiences that way. The cabin attendants on board really to kind of tell lots of stories and always show you where you are. If there's ever any wildlife, they've all got kind of walkie-talkies, and they find out that there's an eagle in the sky, or maybe a bear, or whatever it might be, and they'll kind of slow down and point it out to everybody. And you can get to experience it. So I would say, the majority of our staff that will work with you guys have all been on the Rocky Mountaineer, experienced it themselves, so they can help you, which itinerary you want to do. There's 2 different grades, so
tier of carriage.
So you've got the silver leaf carriages and the gold leaf carriages, and the main difference between the two, so silver leaf, you have really lovely spacious area, a table which kind of flips down and you get served all your food and drink to that. There's a small outside compartment with a window and stuff if you want to get a bit of air, but it's a beautiful cabin. The food is incredible, and each day you can completely get off the train stuffed full of food and drink because you just eaten it and drank the most amazing wine. And
so that's a marvellous 2-day experience.
Exactly. And then if you wanted to upgrade to the gold leaf, the main difference is it's on 2 levels. So you have your kind of viewing part of it where you've got your seat. They're slightly wider, a little bit more space, a little bit more kind of...
Is it like a dome?
Yeah, so, not in the actual cabin where the seats are, but at the end of it, there's kind of a viewing platform that you can go to. Yeah. And then upstairs, you have your dining cart as well. So with the dining cart, you will be sitting and it will be silver service, and it's a really incredible experience, and you can just move about a little bit more. You'll kind of serve the food to a table, so it's a slightly different experience. Doesn't suit everybody, but that's where you have the silver leaf as well to kind of decide which you want to do, but we can help you, and we can help you decide which one.
So that's the Rocky Mountaineer going through the Rockies.
Yes.
Sounds fabulous. And we have one more question, unless there are any online. We've covered it, I think, a little bit with Niagara. Must-dos when visiting the other side.
Well, my must-do is Vancouver. So although you think it's just an arrival or a departure city, it's one of my favourite cities probably in the world that I've visited. There's so much to see and do. It's really diverse. There's loads of different parts of the city itself.
Stanley Park.
Yeah, so you can head to Stanley Park and you can hire some bikes and kind of spend the afternoon going around these kind of really famous totem poles that you can go and visit, and lots of history around that bit. Within the city itself, you've got kind of the modern part with some really kind of plush hotels all around the marina and cool little wine bars and cocktail bars and things. So then you've got the old parts of it as well. And because it's on the Pacific side, you get a lot of kind of Asian influence as well. So you've got like a Chinatown, and the food and that's all really influenced by the Asian side of it as well. So and then just outside the city, you have the Capilano Suspension Bridge Park. So it's a huge kind of suspension bridge that you have to get in the park. Think of I'm a Celebrity, that kind of bridge, but on a grand scale. And you head into the park, and it's all kind of treetop walkways on all these little bridges in this kind of wilderness. They also have they've built a walkway along the canyon, which makes you feel like you're literally walking right up in the skies along this canyon, and it's incredible. The views are amazing. And then you've got Grouse Mountain, you can head up there. There's just tons of different things to do.
So anyone looking for wildlife, lakes, mountains, scenery, kind of just sounds like the most perfect destination.
Yeah, it's a destination for everybody, you know, couples, honeymooners who want to get out and do a little bit more, and families, they love kind of packing the kids up and going out and exploring for the day and spotting all the wildlife. And it's really diverse, and it suits everyone. So really lovely country.
So that's all the questions that we had sent in, but I know that Katie has an incentive, a booking incentive. So 2 weeks from today is about the 17th of October, and your incentive with booking with Travel Designers.
Yes, so we work with Travel Designers as a preferred partner for Canada, and if you make a booking to Canada with Travel Designers in the next 2 weeks, we'll give you a free trip worth up to £50 per person off of your holiday. So you can, add all these different experiences that I've been talking about on us and on the guys at Travel Designers. So.
That's great. Okay, thank you, Katie.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So if anyone is interested in Canada, please do give us a call. The email address here is info@traveldesigners.co.uk, or pop in. We're on Balham High Road if you're local, or give us a call on 0207 720 8484. But in the meantime, I'd just like to thank Katie.
Thanks for having me.
It's been really useful hearing all about this vast country and all the things to do in it.
Fab. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye.